Right, good morning all. So we're moving on to Surah 1:12, Surah al-Ikhlas, right? And this is really about the purification of your feet, right? For whoever been following my videos, the few people who've been following my videos, right? It is about the solidifying or cementing your belief structure, or if you have changed, right, your new beliefs. So if it is about you already having this particular belief system, and as a belief system in monotheism, right? It's about cementing and solidifying that. Or if you were polytheist before, right? And you have been following my videos and what I've been saying consistently, right? It's about your change from polytheism to monotheism, right? Through not a forced procedure, but through a guidance, right? And slowly moving you out of that practice of worshiping that which Allah or God, the one God, does not want you to worship, which is one, nature. You don't worship nature. Two, you don't worship animals. Three, you don't worship humans. Four, you don't worship idols. You don't worship celebrities. Five, right? So we are moving away from those sorts of belief systems which are more in the ancient times, right? You would find paganism practices, you would find worshipping of all sorts of things, symbols, deities, idols, representations of nature. So now we are not worshipping those characteristics of God. You are worshipping God itself, right? Or creations of God. You are neither worshipping attributes of God, nor are you worshipping creations of God, right? You are worshipping one God, Allah, one God, and one God alone, right? Doesn't mean, right, that it takes away from how you believe. In fact, it should add, because once you are worshipping God, it should naturally add, right, to the way that you treat people, how when you come across people in your day-to-day life experience, right? And try to not to cause harm to them, right? Try to not to cause any suffering to other human beings, because when you cause suffering upon other human beings, right, you automatically receive back that suffering into it, right? So what we do dealt with that issue. Allah, God is one, right? Allah is the eternal refuge, right? The eternal refuge, meaning that if the world goes against you, or regardless of what the world tell you, know that you have Allah, Allah has you. Allah has your back, right? And you can seek refuge in Allah, right? Allah is he neither begets nor is born, right? Meaning that Allah doesn't give birth, right? Nor is he born, right? So Allah is the unborn, right? Me and you can give birth, right? We are humans, right? I can give birth if I want. I cannot give birth if I want. I'm a human being, right? Allah, right, is the unborn, right? Allah is the unborn, right? And Allah doesn't give birth, right? Allah cannot give birth. Allah is eternal, right? God is eternal, right? You can't give birth, right? A eternal source, right? An eternal source meaning that you never born, you never die, right? You never born, you never die, right? And there's no human on earth. Every human on earth borns, every human on earth dies, right? So I could give birth, you could give birth, right? Meaning that humans are able to give birth, right? Females then, right? Together with a male, right? Nor is there to Allah any equivalent, right? So I am not equal to Allah, you are not equal to Allah, right? We might be close through following certain guidelines and practices. You might be close to Allah through following certain guidance and practices that you've integrated yourself into, right? And by virtue of that, right, you bring yourself closer, metaphorically meaning that, right, because not physical closeness, right, you bring yourself closer in a spiritual sense, right, to God, to Allah, right? But there is none to him any equivalent, right? So we move on to 113 Surah Al-Falaq tomorrow, God's willing, inshallah. Right, take care everybody.